What's going on, Washington Commanders Nation? If you're not familiar with my face, my name is Rio Robinson. I'm a fan ambassador for the Washington Commanders and a YouTube content creator, and I'll be bringing you live from Bleacher Report, the post-game reaction, raw, immediate reaction to tonight's game versus the Baltimore Ravens, where my beloved Washington Commanders have broken the streak, the most random streak in pro sports right now. Preseason games, 24 in a row. The Baltimore Ravens' last preseason loss came in September of 2015. We are now on August 21st. 2023, and the Washington Commanders just completed the comeback and beat the Ravens 29-28 in FedEx Field. I call it the Josh Harris effect, because just like Snyder's reign in Washington, Baltimore streak is now finito. Let me see some hashtag HTTCs in the chat, W's in the chat, W's, throw them up. We love it. Show me the burgundy and gold colors. We're going to talk about winners and losers from the game tonight. I posted a poll about our young Airwolf starting quarterback, Sam Howell, in which I asked, how are we feeling? What's our confidence level in Sam Howell, number 14 right now? Are we over the moon like me? Are we thinking wait and see? Because I've been swindled. I fell for the finesse before. Are we thinking not feeling them at all? I don't know how you could be feeling that, but hey, to each their own. Everybody has an opinion. And are we thinking superstar? I know what I'm thinking, but I'll hold that to myself right now. Winners and losers from tonight's preseason game. Let me see some HTTCs in the chat, baby. HTTCs in the chat. We finally have a quarterback after all the years. You see this hat I just picked up today? This hat represents Super Bowl 26. This was my birth year. They won the Super Bowl during my birth year and have not had one 11-win season or one quarterback throw for 30 touchdowns ever since. So my whole lifetime, I've been supporting inept circus clown show antics and mediocrity. But things are changing. The vibes are back. We had regular season type atmosphere and what Joe Buck called on the call tonight the most exciting preseason game he's ever been a part of. It's the Josh Harris effect, baby. But let's talk about what we saw on the field tonight. Winner number one. You might as well call it two people because one success is directly predicated off the other one. Sam Howell and Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy's offense is the breath of fresh air Washington needed. Do you know how many years and how many offenses, Jay Gruden, Scott Turner, where if we get a penalty or we take a bad sack and fall to 2nd and 20, 3rd and 15, we immediately punt the drive. Those were drive killers before. We didn't even attempt to get the yards back. We would run a draw, zone read, some nonsense play to pick up 2 yards and punt the ball and play the flip the field position game. Eric Bieniemy is letting young Sam cook. Sam took a bad sack on probably was easily his worst play of the game, and immediately the next play throws an absolute missile to Cole Turner on 3rd and 14. And my favorite thing about the play is the poise, the calm demeanor, the patience of Sam Howell. He sat in the pocket, checked his progressions, got through one, checked his hot, even looked at the check down before getting to Cole Turner 14 yards down the field. The first drive was beautiful, but it ended up stalling out at the end. We got a field goal. We're going to talk about how the defense let Josh Johnson look like the second coming of Michael Vick, and we let Zay Flowers get absolute nasty on us. But right now, we're starting with all the good and all the positives after this W. You see the W on the hat? We got a W tonight. Preseason game or not, I know the Ravens fans are salty. They're leaving with a W. They're leaving with an L for the first time in the preseason since 2015. But back to Sam Howell. 19 for 25, 188. 2 touchdowns through the air, 3 scoring drives in 4 opportunities. And the drive that ended up stalling out, he puts it a little bit in front of Diami. We got a deep ball, and we're driving to score again. And it was a great play by the defender. Could have been pass interference, but we're going to call it a great play. I believe it was Ardarius Washington in coverage. Sam looks poised. He looks confident. The offense looks first nature to him. And there are times where I would, like, some of the gamer in Sam, like, don't take unnecessary hits as a quarterback. We've went through it with quarterbacks here before. Remember, Robert couldn't slide. We had to get Washington Nationals baseball players to teach him how to get down. Sam, I love you. I love that dog in you. You got it. He was throwing up the Tar Heel when they scored the touchdown. But please get down because we need you. Second winner of the night, the offensive line. For the most part, they held up, and that was without our starting left tackle in. We had a lot of inactives. So did the Ravens, but we had a laundry list of inactive players tonight. I'll read them off to you just so you know for context if you didn't watch the beginning of the game. Tonight, we were without Charles Leno, Logan Thomas, Montez Sweat, Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Chase Young, Kendall Fuller, St. Juice, Cam Curl, Derek Forrest, Fedarian Mathis, and Danny Johnson. So we can say the defense. The defense, and shout out to Danny Johnson, by the way. This W is for you because Mark Andrews just ruined your season and messed up your rotary cuff trying to power bomb a fourth string cornerback in practice, because that's what they do over there in Baltimore. That's what they love over there. They got your star tight end out here doing German suplexes to fourth string cornerback. That's how y'all get down over there. That's not how we operate in Washington. But the way we do operate is we send Baltimore home with their third L of the week, because from what everybody told me who had boots on the ground in Baltimore, we outworked them boys, we out-practiced them, we out-executed, and we out-disciplined them for the entire week. So W's to the whole team. There's going to be some L's in there. W to Jahan Dotson, building on last week's preseason performance, 5 catches, 76 yards. Looks like a number 1. Like I said on my YouTube channel, follow Rio Robinson. All the information's in the overlay that you're looking at right now. Jahan Dotson is a Batman. We got 2 Batmans, and we're about to talk about our other Batman in a second who did look good, but loser for the night, health. Now we pray to the football gods. We pray to the football gods for the health of one toe of one Terry McLaurin. Terry, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay, Terry? Because we need you to be. We cannot have an injury on our offense. The only place we can afford to have an injury on is the defense right now, because it's clearly the stronger unit, and that's why they didn't really need the work in the preseason game tonight. We got 99 in the chat right now. Let me see some HTTCs. Hashtag HTTCs. Hashtag pray for Terry, because we need the toe. Right. Every single Washington fan is going to get their doctorate in turf toe tonight. We're all going to be on Google searching through every single page of WebMD about turf toe, and everybody's going to have their doctorate on your Twitter or X timeline saying how this injury is going to linger, because turf toe is one of those unexplainable injuries that takes forever to get over, man. But Terry, please be okay. But shout out to the guy. Hope it's okay. The MRIs were negative, but I'm not sure how much an MRI can reveal if it's turf toe. But we need you back, big guy. You're the captain. You're the heartbeat of the offense. You're the heartbeat of the team. You're the co-captain and best player on the roster right now. Being in at the end of a first half of a preseason game, I understand Ron and EB wanting to keep these guys in for situational purposes. It was a 2-minute drill drive that we ended up cashing in on and taking the ball all the way down and scoring. But at the end, is it going to be worth it if Terry has to miss time at the start of the season? That's like the only real negative takeaway from tonight for me personally, because we won the game, but our starters that did play, they check boxes. You're very Manila in the preseason as far as what you're showing offensively, but in a system where your second-year quarterback is learning his second offense in 2 years, and Eric Bieniemy, this is his first full-time play calling duties in the National Football League, you got to show a little bit more than the average team. And Eric Bieniemy's checking all boxes. Any player or any fan that was concerned with Eric Bieniemy's intensity, throw that out the window. His intensity is everything we've needed. We've been a bottom 5 offense for the majority of the last 5 to 6 years, and we need something new. Eric Bieniemy's intensity, Eric Bieniemy, offensive line, Sam Howell, Jahan Dotson, De'Ami Brown, all winners tonight. Losers. Quarterbacks not named Sam Howell. Jacoby Brissett, they call him Brisket in the locker room. He definitely looked cooked and smoked tonight because his arm was all over the place. He was throwing very erratically. Most throws were behind receivers or straight to the defender. It looked really bad. And if there was ever any consideration that there was a legit quarterback competition happening here in Washington, I think Jacoby Brissett's performance versus 3s and 4s tonight shows you that that was never a real thing, because despite the fact that he was playing against 3s last year in preseason, Sam Howell looked damn good playing against 3. He was easily the most crisp, decisive quarterback in camp, and during the preseason games, he looked the part every time that we trudged him out on the field. So, loser tonight, quarterbacks not named Sam Howell. Jake Fromm ended up being saved by referees and getting us down the field on that final drive, but I'm not going to act like he was not throwing the ball to the pearly gates of heaven for the majority of his couple possessions that he played in the game. Alex Arma, when he threw him that flat route on the 2-point conversion, he threw it an hour late, and Alex Arma got to run a 740 because he looked like he was running in slow motion. But losers, number one, quarterbacks not named Sam Howell. But another winner, Quan Martin, even though he got beat a couple times early. You know who I'm talking about, Quan Martin, Mr. Twitter Fingers himself. He came in with a strong performance, or at least a strong game-changing play, because Baltimore had almost all the momentum in the game at that point. He gets beat on I believe, a corner route, and ends up catching up and getting an interception and returning it 54 yards, which then led to Sam leading us down the field for a touchdown. So the play that flipped the game was Quan Martin. Quan Martin, I don't know if you're on Twitter, but the other day, after our first preseason game versus Cleveland, Quan Martin ran immediately to his phone and searched his name after the game. And every fan that made any type of negative comment or any negative connotation that had the words Quan Martin in it, he liked and retweeted it and bookmarked your tweet to hold it for a rainy day. I imagine he's going to let the chopper sing as soon as he gets to his phone in about 15 minutes once he's dressed and showered. But winner, Quan Martin. Winner number 4, Emmanuel Forbes, the Slim Reaper. I call him the praying mantis. He has a praying mantis type frame. He's the boniest football player I've ever seen, but man, does he play with heart. Any questions I had, any other fan or anyone league-wide has had about Emmanuel Forbes' size being a factor, he is more than a willing tackler. He sticks his head in and he goes after it. This is the second week in a row that Emmanuel Forbes has a tackle for loss, a big tackle for loss on a 3rd down. It was 3rd and goal versus the Cleveland Browns, and it was 3rd and 1 this week, and he stuck his skinny ass in the backfield and made a tackle for loss. That guy plays with incredible heart, and he also bounced back really strong because the first possession of the game, Zay Flowers made him run in a circle a couple times. He was on an ice skate. It was ice cabades versus Zay Flowers during the first possession of the game. So Quan Martin and Emmanuel Forbes, you guys both get dubs. Y'all are on the winning side. We're going to be very minimal with the losers tonight because we're feeling real. Oh, loser. New owner, love you. Josh Harris, love you to death. Love all the energy that radiates and exudes from you and your entire ownership group. That was the most awkward exchange of people in a Monday night booth I have ever seen in my life. I don't know if you guys seen it, but when they brought Josh Harris to be a part of the broadcast, Everything was so weird and so awkward, bro. He didn't know who was trying to handshake him. Josh looked like he had him some celebratory brewskis earlier in the day. Like, man, Josh looked drunk. He sounded drunk. His shirt was unironed, but I'm not mad at him because the vibes were great. And he was on the call when Sam called threw the touchdown. But let's get it together. Decorum and booth etiquette. That we're gonna call that an L for the night because you could tell there was no rehearsing done at that point. Josh Harris was just up there for vibes. There was no type of coordination going on. Loser, Chris Rodriguez, rookie running back. From a yards per carry standpoint, he didn't do terrible, but you did the one sin a running back cannot do. You coughed it up. You put the ball on the ground. No, sir. I understand you fumbled only one time your last season at Kentucky, but we cannot be putting the ball on the ground. You gave the Cleveland Browns the ball and the opportunity to score. You put them in paradise. You put your offense in no man's land. You cannot cough the ball up, man. Hey, Josh was definitely drunk. He had him a few too many, but I'm not mad at him. He's still celebrating the fact that he purchased his childhood team. And unlike the last guy who purchased his childhood team, he actually has experience and he has a group around him that unites like the Avengers to come through and own this team. And all of a sudden we got sponsors for days lined up. We got 50 Cent and his cognac company on board. We got Verizon on board. Anheuser-Busch is back on board. And I imagine there's going to be a bidding war for the naming rights of our new stadium venue and headquarters when those come. And that's all soon to come. Talk soon about those things. Winners and losers from the night. Mitchell Tinsley, loser. You dropped a couple passes in crunch time. Yes, we ended up winning the game and other guys made plays and we got saved by the zebras. We got saved by the yellow flags. But Mitchell Tinsley, I cannot have you dropping passes when you're trying to be the last receiver on the roster. Another guy, I wouldn't call him a winner or a loser, but Kashmir Allen had a 23-yard punt return tonight. I know a lot of you are going to say, a 23-yard punt return, he's going to get acknowledged for that. Yes, he's going to get acknowledged for it because bare minimum, Dax Milne gives us 0.0 yards of punt return. He does catch every one of them, and for that, salute to you. You catch every single one of them, but Kashmir Allen has some wiggle and some explosiveness to him. I can use somebody that can make some things shake that could possibly take one to the crib one day. We need to be able to flip the field, and we need to be able to give the offense some advantageous field position when the regular season comes about. But let me know in the chat, who are some winners and losers y'all got for tonight? Let me know. Winners and losers. Yeah, the Fair Catch King. That is a perfect nickname for Dax Milne. But you got to give him credit. He does catch it because the Steven Sims Juniors of the world, we've had guys that come here that could not corral the punt. So we should give him the respect of being able to catch the punt. All right, but let's talk about the starting defense. It wasn't really a starting defense, but it was Emmanuel Forbes, Quan Martin, and I believe Cody Barton. Josh Johnson looked absolutely surgical on the first drive of the game. Like, my excitement level was way too high to be a preseason game off rip, but it immediately simmered down significantly when I'm watching Josh Johnson on Monday Night Football taking the ball right down the field on my football team. I don't like that. And even though it wasn't the main identity of the defense that was in getting dogged, there was a couple starters, but one kryptonite remains with this Washington defense. Mobile quarterbacks that have legs have been our kryptonite for as long as I've known this team. We can go back to Greg Williams. We can go back to Jim Haslett. We can go back to Joe Barry. We can go back to Greg Minuski. It doesn't matter who's coaching the defense in Washington. For as long as I've been a fan, we have not been able to contain quarterbacks that are mobile. They're slippery and they extend plays on us, because we always end up getting to the quarterback and whiffing. But Josh Johnson cooking us on a Monday night, respect to him, but that's not what I want to see out of my 2s, 3s, or 4s, because let's call a spade a spade. Josh Johnson is not a very good quarterback, but I will give him his respect too. 14, 15 years in this league as a backup, you are doing something absolutely correct. But I'm sorry, on Monday Night Football, I don't need to see Josh Johnson taking the ball up and down the field on my team at will. Winner, again, we'll go back to the offense that played in the first half because they're the ones who really set the tone and won the game for this team. De'Ami Brown, the UNC Chapel Hill connection is still strong. He kind of dropped one and made up for it on the next drive. Sam gives him a chance one-on-one versus the defender. He boxes him out, catches the alley-oop, head tops him in the end zone. Team-wide celebration. I'll probably make that the thumbnail to my post game when I post this exact video to YouTube. But who's y'all's player of the game? Is it Sam Howell? How are y'all feeling going into preseason and knowing that our final preseason game on Saturday, we're probably not going to see any players of real significance? That final preseason game is kind of just, guys on the bubble, guys who have a roster spot to earn. So the 1s, 2s, and a lot of 3s are probably not even really going to be playing. It's going to be a lot of bubble guys. So guys like Kashmir Allen, Mitchell Tinsley, Jake Fromm, a lot of Chris Rodriguez, even though I'm pretty sure his spot is solidified considering he was drafted here. And EB loves the guy. He's been having a good camp. Can't put the ball on the ground, though, rookie. We cannot have that. Winner, Joey Slye. How about Joey Slye? A guy that myself and a lot of fans held to the fire all offseason. He wins the game. He's accurate. He's hitting kicks, and he won the job. We cut Michael Badgley this week. We brought in competition. Whether it was a real competition or a formality, Joey Slye went out there, took the competition, and won the job. Won it, and he won the game this week. He's making kicks. He's making extra points. Please let this carry over into the regular season because I cannot have my starting kicker buff and missing extra points. Like, don't be built like Jamin Davis and miss an extra point, bro. It doesn't make any sense, bro. Like, stop skipping leg day and just do leg day only, bro. You don't need to have those type of biceps as a kicker in this league. I promise you. But Joey Slye, you get a W in my books, a resounding W, and congratulations for winning your starting job and getting Michael Badgley out of here and then putting a punctuation on Washington's preseason 29-28 victory over the Baltimore Ravens tonight. I love it, man. The vibes are immaculate. It's just a preseason game. I know I need to relax. I should not have my blood flowing like this on a Monday night in August, but I feel the vibes of the regular season coming. I'm feeling fall weather starting to come to the DMV. I'm sensing fantasy drafts on the way, and I'm feeling an excitement level as a Washington fan that I have not felt in a very long time, but real excitement. Like, this team has no reason to not be a playoff team this year. 7-win season, 8-win season without a quarterback. And playing 3 or 4 quarterbacks a year. There is no excuse if Sam Howell really is what he's advertised to be, that this is less than a 10-win team this year, and we should hold them at that. We should hold them to the standard. Ron told us it takes 3 to 5 years to build a culture. It is year 4. We're under new ownership. There are no off-the-field distractions taking place. So I expect this team to produce results this year. We're 2-0 in preseason, but nobody cares about the record. But this one feels good. This one feels sweet, and both of these games feel sweet because our new owner, our guy, Josh Harris, was able to come in and see his team victorious the first 2 times he's seen them, on the road and at home. Let me know what y'all are excited to see for Saturday versus the Bengals coming up. Is there any? Oh, another winner. Last winner. I forgot a guy. Andre Jones. Thank you for reminding me in the chat. Andre Jones, our 7th round pick. Is he the 3rd best edge rusher on the roster? This guy comes off the edge nasty. He is really good, bro. Like, you would think we would be hearing these type of rave reviews from our 5th round pick that we traded up for out of Clemson, KJ Henry, but Andre Jones is him right now. He's been running with the ones during the Ravens practices, and he got a lot of time with the ones today. He may be getting time with the ones and twos when the season starts, because not only does he look like a roster lock, he looks like a rotational lock. Like when they start mixing and rotating guys and Chase Young and Tez need to be spelled to get a water break, he's probably your first guy in the game. He might be the sixth man of the defense, because this guy comes off the edge. He had, I believe, 2 tackles for loss, and one of them, he just looked like a bat shot out of hell. Andre Jones, you may be the winner of the whole offseason, because when we made that draft pick, I said this guy's best bet is probably going to be the practice squad, and I could not be more wrong. This guy has seized the opportunity, and he's grasped it, and he looks like the 3rd best edge rusher on the team, and he looks like he may have the most bend on the roster. Montez Sweat is a good straight line speed guy, and Chase Young has a really good first step, but neither bends the edge real sharp. Andre Jones is bendy. He's flexible off the edge, and we need somebody who can tight circle around the tackle and get to the quarterback. And back to the injury thing before we go. Jonathan Allen has plantar fascia, and Terry McLaurin Twitter told me he has turf toe. We're going to have that confirmed sometime soon. How worried should we be about those things? We definitely should be a little worried, because those are the best 2 players on the roster. Yes, sir. Ravens took that L. Yes, sir. Jones, for sure. 3rd best edge rusher on the roster right now. But yeah, the heartbeat, the heart and soul of this team, the captains, Jonathan Allen and Terry McLaurin being injured, is definitely something we should be scratching our heads a little bit about. But we got some time, y'all. It's August 21st. We got a couple weekends away. We got 2 weekends before our regular season opener, and the Arizona Cardinals come to town. I don't care what nobody says. We're blowing the Cardinals out week 1, and I refuse to believe anything less. That's probably going to be the first sellout game at FedEx Field I've ever experienced in my life, and I've been to quite a few games. I've been to every game the last 3 seasons, and I've never experienced a sellout. The closest we got to it, the stadium was full of Cowboys, Eagles, or Giants fans, or Steelers fans, or whatever team with a large traveling fan base you'd like to add to that list. But week 1 is going to be different. It's presumed to be sold out. If you go to SeatGeek, there are not many great tickets left. I hope all of y'all in the chat that can come to the game. If you see me, pull up on me. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, Rambling with Rio Robinson, we do things like this daily. We do streams like this a couple times a week. We keep it raw. We keep it uncensored, unfiltered, and from the perspective and lens of a fan. It's a fanalist thing. I don't pretend to be a journalist. I'm not that. I'm not the media, but I am a fan who pays a lot of attention and has a stranglehold over my entire life when it comes to this football team. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me during this stream tonight. Let me know what thoughts y'all have going into Saturday's preseason finale, and make sure you come back and shout out one more time the Bleacher Report for having me on as a content contributor for the Washington Commanders. Washington beats Baltimore 29-28. Last second field goal by Joey Sly. Man of the night goes to Sam Howell. 19 for 25, 188 yards, 2 tutties. One to Antonio Gibson and one to his college boy. The UNC Chapel Hill connection to De'Ami Brown threw up the deuces, threw up the Tar Heel sign in the end zone. Brissett came in and looked like cooked brisket. Jake Fromm came in and didn't look that much better, but the Zebras put the game back in play, and Washington closed the deal on a 24-game preseason streak that is dated back to September of 2015. I think that all covers it, right? I think I covered all grounds at this point, right? Let me know if I missed anything on the way. Oh, and if you didn't know, our owner was drunk as hell in the booth with Troy Buck and with Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, and it was hilarious. We love the vibes. We love the new. We love how immaculate things are becoming right now. It's a new day in Washington. It's a new era. Everything that we've watched for the last 24 years, let it dissipate because our karma is now reset. We get to start from ground zero and build this up. And this is the best collection of young talent this team has assembled in the last 24 years. That is my time for now. Make sure y'all sub up the YouTube channel. Follow me on Bleacher Report because we're going to be doing more streams like this during the season. And hail to the Washington Commanders, baby. Salute to the W. Rio out.